The average person spends over $1,000 a year on supplements. Vitamin C capsules, omega-3 soft gels, iron tablets, magnesium powders. Adaptogens with names you can't pronounce. And most of it passes through your body barely absorbed, manufactured in a factory, marked up 400%, and sold to you in a bottle with a sunset on the label. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Some of the most nutrient-dense substances on the planet aren't locked behind a pharmacy counter. They grow in dirt, in your dirt. A single plant in your backyard can deliver what 5 or 6 bottles on your shelf are struggling to do. And today I'm going to show you exactly which plants those are, how they work, and why the supplement industry really hopes you never figure this out. Moringa, if you only grow one plant from this entire list, this is the one. Moringa oleifera, sometimes called the drumstick tree or the miracle tree, is one of the most nutritionally complete plants ever studied. Gram for gram in its dried leaf form, it delivers more vitamin C than oranges, more calcium than milk, more potassium than bananas, and more iron than spinach. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, which makes it a rare complete protein source from a plant. It's loaded with B vitamins, vitamin A, zinc, and magnesium. Now think about what's in your average multivitamin. Vitamin A, C, iron, calcium, magnesium, zinc, B vitamins. Moringa covers nearly all of it from a single leaf. And here's the part nobody talks about, the bioavailability. When you take a synthetic multivitamin, your body absorbs a fraction of what's in the pill. The rest is expensive urine. When you eat moringa leaves, whether fresh in a salad or dried into a powder you stir into a smoothie, those nutrients arrive in the matrix your body was designed to absorb, bound up with fiber, enzymes, and cofactors that help everything get where it needs to go. Growing moringa is shockingly easy if you're in zones 9 through 11. In cooler climates, it grows fast enough to treat as an annual. It can reach 10 feet in a single season. You cut branches, strip the leaves, dry them on a screen in the shade, and you've got a year's supply of what is arguably the most complete nutritional supplement on the planet. No factory, no middleman, no expiration date stamped on a plastic bottle. Just a tree in your backyard doing what trees have done for thousands of years, feeding people. There's something else about moringa that rarely gets mentioned. The leaves contain compounds called isothiocyanates and chlorogenic acid, which have been studied for their role in blood sugar regulation and reducing inflammation. These aren't bonus features. These are the exact reasons people buy separate supplements labeled blood sugar support or anti-inflammatory complex. Moringa does it all in one leaf. The supplement industry sells moringa capsules for $30 to $50 a bottle. One tree can produce pounds of dried leaf material in a season. You can stir a tablespoon of the dried powder into a morning smoothie and get a broader nutritional profile than most people achieve from 3 different supplement bottles combined. Do the math on that and tell me. The bottle is the smarter move. Purslane, this one hurts a little when you hear it. Purslane is the single richest source of omega-3 fatty acids of any leafy green vegetable on Earth. Read that again. The richest, not one of the richest, the richest. It contains more alpha-linolenic acid per gram than any other green plant that's been tested. It also contains small amounts of EPA, the same omega-3 found in fish oil, which is nearly unheard of in a land plant. And what do most people do? With purslane, they rip it out of their garden beds and toss it in the compost. It's classified as a weed in most of the United States. It grows in sidewalk cracks. It shows up uninvited in vegetable patches. It's one of the most common plants on the planet, and most gardeners treat it like garbage. Meanwhile, those same gardeners are buying fish oil capsules at the drugstore. Capsules that often go rancid on the shelf, that come with fishy aftertaste and burps, and that cost $15 to $40 a month. Beyond the omega-3 content, purslane is a powerhouse of vitamins A, C, and E. It contains more vitamin E than spinach by a factor of 7. It's rich in magnesium, potassium, calcium, and iron. 100-gram serving, which is roughly a generous handful, delivers 35% of your daily vitamin C and over a quarter of your vitamin A. And it grows with zero effort. Purslane thrives in poor soil. It laughs at drought. It produces in heat that would wilt most garden vegetables. You don't fertilize it, you don't baby it, you don't even really plant it. Once it shows up, you just stop killing it and start eating it. Raw in salads, sautéed like spinach, blended into smoothies, or pickled for later. One plant. Omega-3s, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin C, magnesium, potassium, iron. That's at least 3 supplement bottles replaced by something that was already growing in your yard for free. And there's a deeper point here that applies to everything on this list but shows up most clearly with purslane. The nutrients in a whole plant don't work in isolation. The omega-3s in purslane are accompanied by antioxidants that protect those fragile fats from oxidation. The vitamins arrive alongside the minerals needed to absorb them. That kind of synergy doesn't exist inside a fish oil capsule sitting on a shelf under fluorescent lights. Nature packages nutrients together for a reason. We're only just beginning to understand how much that packaging matters. Purslane also has a favorable omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, which is something nutritionists increasingly emphasize. Most modern diets are wildly skewed toward omega-6 fats, which promotes inflammation. Purslane helps correct that balance with every bite. It's not just adding something good. It's actively helping to undo something bad. Stinging nettle. Most people know stinging nettle as the plant that stings you when you brush against it in the woods. What most people don't know is that once you blanch or dry it, those stinging hairs become harmless and you're left with one of the most mineral-dense edible greens on the planet. Nettle leaves contain easily absorbed iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, and silica. They're loaded with vitamins A, C, D, E, and K, plus a full lineup of B vitamins including folate. The protein content is remarkable for a leaf, clocking in around 30% of dry weight. And the mineral profile reads like the back of a premium multivitamin label. But here's nettle starts replacing bottles most people don't expect. It's one of the most studied natural antihistamines in herbal medicine. Multiple studies have shown that nettle leaf reduces the severity of seasonal allergy symptoms. It works by interfering with the body's histamine response, the exact same thing that over-the-counter allergy pills do, except it also feeds you a dense payload of nutrition while it does it. So with one plant, you can potentially set aside your iron supplement, your allergy medication, and a significant chunk of your multivitamin. Nettle grows as a perennial in most of North America, Europe, and Asia. It likes rich, moist soil and partial shade, which means it thrives in the exact spots most gardeners ignore. Along fence lines, under trees, near compost piles. You harvest the top few inches of young growth in spring and early summer, wearing gloves of course, and then you blanch, dry, or freeze it. Dried nettle makes one of the best mineral-rich teas you can drink. Fresh nettle cooks down like spinach and tastes earthy and green, almost like a richer version of it. People spend real money on nettle supplements. Capsules of freeze-dried nettle leaf sell for $20 to $30. A patch in your backyard produces indefinitely, year after year, for nothing. There's also an underappreciated gardening benefit to keeping nettle around. It's a magnet for beneficial insects and a host plant for several butterfly species. It improves soil quality wherever it grows because its deep roots pull minerals up from the subsoil. So, it's not just feeding you. It's feeding your entire garden ecosystem while it's at it. Most supplement bottles can't claim that kind of side benefit. Holy basil, tulsi, walk into any health food store and you'll find an entire shelf of adaptogens. Ashwagandha, rhodiola, reishi, they all promise the same thing. Help your body manage stress, balance cortisol, calm your nervous system. Some of them cost $40 or $50 a bottle. Holy basil, known as tulsi in India, has been used for exactly this purpose for over 3,000 years. And unlike most adaptogens that come from roots or mushrooms that take years to mature, Tulsi is an annual herb that grows from seed to harvest ready in about 60 days. It produces abundantly, it smells incredible, and it works. Research has shown that holy basil helps modulate cortisol, the stress hormone that drives anxiety, poor sleep, belly fat storage, and immune suppression. It has documented anti-inflammatory properties. It supports healthy blood sugar levels. It's rich in antioxidants, particularly eugenol, rosmarinic acid, and apigenin. And the simplest way to use it is as a tea. Harvest the leaves, dry them gently, and steep them in hot water. It's that simple. What makes Tulsi special for gardeners specifically is how productive it is. One plant can be harvested repeatedly throughout the growing season. It branches more aggressively the more you cut it, just like culinary basil. A row of 6 plants can produce enough dried leaf to keep you in daily adaptogen tea for an entire year. Compare that to buying adaptogen blends at the store, where you're paying a premium for someone else to dry, grind, capsule, package, and ship you something you could have grown beside your tomatoes. Holy basil replaces your stress supplement, your cortisol manager, your calming tea, and arguably a portion of your antioxidant intake. One plant, 60 days from seed. There's a compounding element here too. Stress is the root of so many other health problems. Poor sleep, weakened immunity, digestive issues, skin problems, weight gain. When you address stress at the source with something like Tulsi, you're not just replacing one supplement. You're potentially reducing your need for several downstream ones. That's the kind of leverage most people don't think about when they're standing in the supplement aisle picking things one bottle at a time. A plant that lowers your baseline stress is quietly doing the work of 3 or 4 other interventions at once. Dandelion here's another one you've probably been waging war against. Dandelion is not a pest. It's a pharmacy. Every single part of the dandelion plant is edible and medicinal. The leaves, the flowers, the roots. Each part does something different, and together they cover a range of supplements most people don't even think to question. The leaves are one of the highest natural sources of potassium, a mineral most Americans are deficient in. They're rich in vitamins A, C, and K. They act as a gentle, natural diuretic, which is why herbalists have used them for centuries to support kidney function and reduce water retention. Unlike pharmaceutical diuretics that flush potassium out of your body, dandelion leaf actually replenishes it while it works. That's an elegance you won't find in a pill. The root is where things get really interesting. Dandelion root is a traditional liver tonic. It stimulates bile production, which is critical for digesting fats and absorbing fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. It acts as a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial bacteria in your gut. Roasted dandelion root makes a coffee-like beverage that people have been drinking for centuries as a digestive aid and liver support. So with one plant you can replace a potassium supplement, a liver support supplement, a prebiotic capsule, and a digestive bitter. That's 4 bottles from a plant most people poison with herbicide every weekend. Growing dandelion is the easiest thing on this list because you probably don't have to grow it at all. You just have to stop spraying it. If your lawn or a nearby area hasn't been treated with chemicals, you already have a dandelion crop. If you want to cultivate it intentionally, there are improved varieties with larger leaves and thicker roots. They grow in almost any soil, in sun or part shade, and they're perennial. Once they're established, they come back forever, which is exactly what you want from something that's replacing supplements you'd otherwise buy forever too. Here's a detail that will bother you once you hear it. Americans spend billions of dollars collectively on lawn herbicides, a huge portion of which is designed specifically to kill dandelions. Then those same people walk into a health store and buy dandelion root capsules for liver support. We're literally paying to destroy a plant with one hand and buying it back in capsule form with the other. Once you see that pattern, everything about the supplement industry starts to look a little different. Rosemary. There's a reason rosemary has been called the herb of remembrance for centuries. It wasn't just poetic symbolism. People noticed that it actually seemed to sharpen the mind. And modern research is starting to confirm what traditional use suggested all along. Rosemary contains a compound called rosmarinic acid, which has strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. But the compound getting the most attention from researchers is carnosic acid, which has been shown to protect neurons from oxidative damage. Studies have found that even the aroma of rosemary can improve memory and cognitive performance. One study measured a significant improvement in memory tasks among people who simply worked in a room diffused with rosemary essential oil. In supplement form, rosemary extract is sold as a cognitive enhancer and brain health supplement. You'll see it listed in nootropic stacks alongside synthetic compounds, marked up considerably. But rosemary is one of the easiest perennial herbs to grow. It's drought-tolerant, pest-resistant, and in zones 7 and above it's evergreen. One plant can live for 20 years or more and provide a constant supply of fresh leaves you can cook with, make tea from, or dry and store. It's also a potent source of iron, calcium, and vitamin B6. The antioxidant density is remarkable. And because you're using it fresh from your garden, rather than taking a standardized extract that's been sitting in a warehouse, you're getting the full spectrum of compounds, not just the one or two that a supplement manufacturer decided to isolate. A single rosemary bush replaces your brain health supplement, contributes to your antioxidant intake, provides minerals, and makes your roast chicken taste incredible. That's a return on investment you won't find in any vitamin aisle. And there's a practical advantage to rosemary that most supplement-replacing plants don't offer quite as well. You'll actually use it consistently. Compliance is the biggest problem in supplementation. People buy bottles, take them for 2 weeks, forget, and the bottles collect dust. Nobody forgets to use rosemary because it's delicious. You reach for it every time you cook. That built-in consistency means the health compounds are entering your body regularly, which is exactly how they need to arrive to do any good. The best supplement in the world is worthless if it stays in the cabinet. The herb growing next to your kitchen door gets used. Calendula. Most people know calendula as a pretty orange flower. What they don't know is that it's one of the most versatile medicinal plants you can grow, and it targets a category of supplements most people don't even realize they're spending money on: skin health and immune support. Calendula flowers are rich in flavonoids and carotenoids, specifically lutein and beta-carotene, which your body converts to vitamin A. These compounds are antioxidants that support skin repair, reduce inflammation, and promote healthy cell turnover. Calendula has been used for centuries as a wound-healing agent and skin soother. Modern studies have confirmed its anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and wound-healing properties when applied topically. But the internal benefits are just as impressive. Calendula tea supports lymphatic drainage and immune function. It has documented antifungal and antiviral properties. It soothes the mucous membranes of the digestive tract, making it useful for people dealing with gut inflammation or irritation. It's gentle enough to use daily and powerful enough that herbalists consider it a foundational remedy. Now think about what's on your supplement shelf or in your bathroom cabinet related to skin health. Vitamin A capsules, collagen powders, lutein supplements for your eyes, anti-inflammatory creams, gut-soothing supplements. Calendula touches all of those categories, and growing it is pure pleasure. Calendula is a cool season annual that blooms prolifically. You direct sow the seeds, and within a couple of months you've got more flowers than you know what to do with. You harvest the flower heads, dry them, and store them in jars. They keep for a year or more. You can make tea, infused oils, salves, tinctures, or simply eat the petals in salads. One packet of calendula seeds costs a few dollars. A bottle of calendula extract at the health store costs $15 to $25. A jar of calendula salve costs even more. One planting gives you all of those products and then some, and the plant reseeds itself, so you barely have to think about it the following year. There's an elegance to calendula that I think represents the best of what garden-based health looks like. It's beautiful enough to earn its spot in any flower bed, productive enough to be genuinely useful, and simple enough that a complete beginner can succeed with it. You don't need special skills or rare knowledge. You just need to put the seeds in the ground and then actually use what grows. That second part, the using it, is where most people fall short. We've been conditioned to think that real medicine comes in bottles and real solutions require barcodes. Calendula is a gentle reminder that the most effective tools are sometimes the most unassuming ones. Lemon balm if you've ever bought melatonin, magnesium for sleep, L-theanine, or any over-the-counter calming supplement, lemon balm deserves your attention. This member of the mint family has been used since the Middle Ages specifically for calming the nerves, improving sleep quality, and supporting digestion. And the research behind it is not thin. It's one of the most studied calming herbs in Western herbal medicine. Lemon balm contains rosmarinic acid, which inhibits the enzyme that breaks down GABA in the brain. GABA is your brain's primary calming neurotransmitter, the same one targeted by anti-anxiety medications. By slowing the breakdown of GABA, lemon balm gently extends a feeling of calm without sedation, without dependency, and without the groggy hangover that comes with many sleep aids. Studies have shown that lemon balm improves sleep quality, reduces anxiety, and even enhances cognitive function during stressful tasks. It also has antiviral properties, particularly against herpes simplex virus, and it supports healthy digestion by relaxing smooth muscle in the gut. For gardeners, lemon balm is almost too easy. It's a perennial in zones 4 through 9. It spreads vigorously, sometimes aggressively, so give it a dedicated spot. Or grow it in a container. It produces abundantly from a single planting and can be harvested multiple times per season. The leaves dry beautifully and make a delicious tea that tastes like mild lemon with a slightly sweet, herbaceous finish. One established lemon balm plant can produce enough dried leaf in a season to replace a year's worth of sleep supplement capsules and calming teas. And unlike melatonin, which can suppress your body's natural production, over time, lemon balm works with your biochemistry rather than overriding it. That's a distinction worth understanding. The economics here are almost comical. A box of calming tea at the grocery store contains maybe 20 bags and costs $6 to $8. A single lemon balm plant, which costs $3, as a seedling, will produce hundreds of cups worth of tea in its first year alone, and it comes back next year, and the year after that. You're looking at a one-time $3 investment that replaces an ongoing monthly expense indefinitely. If you applied that logic to a retirement portfolio, your financial advisor would call it genius. Applied to a garden, most people don't even think about it. Plant and leaf, not the banana-like fruit, the broad-leafed weed, Plantago major. It grows in lawns, along pathways in compacted soil where almost nothing else will thrive. You've stepped on it 1,000 times, and it might be one of the most underrated medicinal plants in the Northern Hemisphere. Plant and leaf has been used for centuries as a wound-healing agent. The fresh leaves, when chewed or crushed and applied to a bee sting, insect bite, or minor wound, draw out irritation and speed healing. It contains allantoin, the same compound used in expensive skin repair creams, along with aucubin, which has anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. But plantain's real supplement-replacing power is in respiratory health. The leaf contains mucilage, a gel-like substance that coats and soothes irritated mucous membranes in the throat and lungs. Herbalists use plantain tea and tincture for coughs, bronchial irritation, and general respiratory support. It's a common ingredient in natural cough syrups and lung health formulas. It also has documented benefits for gut health, acting as a gentle demulcent that soothes the lining of the digestive tract, similar to how it works on respiratory tissue. The leaves are edible, containing vitamin C, vitamin K, and calcium. Consider what you might be spending on respiratory support supplements, cough syrups, wound healing creams, or skin repair products. Plant and Leaf addresses all of those in one plant, and it requires literally zero effort to grow because it's already growing everywhere. You just have to learn to recognize it, harvest it from clean areas that haven't been sprayed, and use it. Dried plant and leaf stores well and makes a soothing tea. Fresh leaves can be infused into oils for salves. A tincture made from the fresh leaf is a powerful addition to any home apothecary. And all of this comes from a plant you've been mowing over for your entire life. What makes plantain especially interesting is how it demonstrates a pattern you'll notice once you start paying attention. The plants we've worked hardest to eliminate from our landscapes are often the ones with the most to offer us. We've been trained to see uniformity as beauty and wildness as disorder. But from a nutritional and medicinal standpoint, that so-called disorder is a fully stocked medicine cabinet lying flat against the ground, waiting for someone to notice it. Garlic, I saved this one for last because almost everyone already grows it or could grow it. And yet almost nobody thinks of it as a supplement replacement. They think of it as food, and that's exactly why it's so effective. The best supplements are the ones you actually use consistently, and garlic is something most people eat several times a week without any effort at all. But fresh, raw, homegrown garlic is in a completely different category from the garlic powder on your shelf or the garlic supplements in a capsule. When you crush or chop a fresh garlic clove, an enzyme called alliinase converts a compound called alliin into allicin. Allicin is the active compound responsible for most of garlic's medicinal properties. It's a potent antimicrobial, antiviral, and antifungal agent. It supports cardiovascular health by helping to manage cholesterol levels and blood pressure. It boosts immune function. It has documented anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Here's the problem with garlic supplements. Allicin is incredibly unstable. It begins to degrade within minutes of being produced. Most garlic capsules on the market contain very little active allicin. Some independent lab tests have found that popular garlic supplement brands deliver almost none of the allicin they promise. You're paying for the idea of garlic without getting the garlic. Fresh garlic from your garden doesn't have this problem. You crush it, you wait about 10 to 20 minutes for the allicin to fully form, and you eat it. The delivery system is perfect because it's the original delivery system. Growing garlic is one of the simplest things a gardener can do. You plant individual cloves in the fall, mulch them, and ignore them until late spring or early summer when you pull up full heads. A 10-foot row can produce 40 to 60 heads of garlic, which is enough to keep a household supplied for most of the year. Stored properly in a cool, dry spot, hardneck garlic lasts 6 to 8 months. Softneck varieties can last even longer. That annual planting replaces your immune support supplement, your cardiovascular supplement, your allicin capsules, and honestly, it replaces a good portion of your grocery store garlic budget too. The flavor of homegrown garlic compared to the bleached, imported bulbs at the supermarket is so different it barely seems like the same vegetable. And the medicinal potency follows the flavor. Fresh and local beets, factory processed every single time. There's an important lesson embedded in the garlic example. The supplement industry profits from the gap between what nature provides and what consumers believe they need to buy. Garlic doesn't need to be put in a capsule to work. It never did. But a capsule is something you can patent a formula around, put a brand name on, and sell at a markup. A clove of garlic from your garden is just food. You can't trademark it. You can't build a subscription service around it. And that's exactly why nobody with a profit motive is telling you to grow it. The most powerful health tools are often the ones nobody makes money selling you. So there's your list. 10 plants, each one capable of replacing multiple bottles on your supplement shelf, and not in some theoretical, maybe someday way. In a real, practical, this actually works way that people have been using for centuries, before the supplement industry convinced us, We needed their version instead. Now let me be clear about something. I'm not saying supplements are useless. For certain people, in certain situations, specific supplements serve a real purpose. If your doctor has identified a deficiency, listen to your doctor. What I am saying is that the default American approach of buying a basket of supplements and hoping for the best is a poor strategy, when the alternative is growing nutrient-dense plants that deliver those same compounds in a form your body was built to use. And here's what I want you to do. Don't try to grow all 10 of these at once. That's a recipe for overwhelm. And overwhelm is the enemy of actually doing anything. Pick 2, maybe 3. Look at what you're currently buying in supplement form and find the plant on this list that covers the most ground. If you're spending money on omega-3s and a multivitamin, start with Purslane and Moringa. If your medicine cabinet is full of allergy pills and iron tablets, try stinging nettle. If you're buying sleep aids and stress supplements, lemon balm and holy basil are your starting point. The idea isn't to overhaul everything at once. The idea is to make one smart choice, put it in the ground and let it grow. Because once you taste a leaf you grew yourself and realize it's doing the same job as a $20 bottle you've been rebuying for years, something shifts in your thinking. You start to see your backyard differently, not as a lawn to maintain, but as a pharmacy you haven't opened yet. Every plant on this list is a compounding investment. Perennials come back year after year. Annuals reseed themselves. One moringa tree produces more nutrition each season than it did the last. A nettle patch expands. Rosemary just sits there, getting bigger and more productive while you do nothing. The supplement industry needs you to come back every month. These plants just need dirt, water, and a little bit of your attention. So pick your 2, get them in the ground, and a year from now look at your supplement shelf and count the bottles that are still there. I think you'll be surprised by how many of them are gone. Not because you gave up on your health, but because you figured out a better way to take care of it. There's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can step into your backyard and find what your body needs. It changes the way you feel about health, about money, about self-sufficiency. You stop being a customer in someone else's system and start being the source of your own wellness. That's not some abstract philosophy. That's a real shift in power. And it starts with a single plant in the dirt. If this changed how you think about your garden, hit subscribe. I've got a lot more where this came from, and I'll see you in the next one.